Hey my friend, it's gonna be fun today. We're gonna analyze the best chords we can find on the album Moving Pictures by Rush, one of my favorites. So let's dive in. Alright, let's start with the first song, Tom Sawyer. So many people play it like this, and this is not the right way. I'm going to show you the right way, and you're going to learn a ton about typical Alex Lifeson voicings, which are very unusual, but it's very, very cool. So the real way he plays that chord progression is that the first one is an E major, and then the second one is like this. It sounds wrong, but it's really what Lifeson does. I even have an entire lesson where I explain how to play Tom Sawyer the right way. You can watch it for more details. But in a nutshell, Lifeson does this voicing a lot. It's supposed to be a D sus2 that we usually play like this. But he's gonna double the sus2 on the bass. So the sus2 is the note that's on the second string, right here on the 5th fret, and he's gonna play another note like this on the bass. And it sounds like an E chord because of that. But Geddy Lee is still playing the D note at the bottom on bass, lower than that. So it still sounds like a D sus2, but it really thickens up the chord in a really nice way. The third chord he's gonna do, right? So it's just not a plain A power chord. It's actually an A sus4 with a 7th. So it's an A7 sus4. It adds a certain color on top that you don't get with just a power chord like this, right? And the last chord is the same, but this time it's gonna be on C sus2, right? With the so da 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 da. So we're gonna see some of those voicings very often on this album or just in Rush's music in general. So like I said, if you want to see the full breakdown, you can see my whole video on it. And then he's gonna play a B sus2 with an added note at the bottom to give some oomph to it like this. The world is a world is right? So it's a real sus2 with an extra 5th on the bass, so that it sounds huge like this. So this is also a voicing that you can use. The next song, Red Barchetta, we're gonna use the same voicing that we've seen in Tom Sawyer, but we're gonna use it in a different way. So that's the same sus4 voicing, but we're just adding a new bass note under it, and we're resolving the chord to an A major. So that's why you need to bar it, and then I'm gonna wrap my thumb around to reach the F sharp. And then I'm gonna play the G. So it's really interesting to get that. And then a little later, he's doing that a lot too. He's gonna play the first 2 notes of a bar chord like this, and that's gonna create a super spreaded power chord. So that's an F power chord. Just like this, instead of having those 2 notes right here, we're having them on top. So that's gonna go like this. With some gain, it's really cool. So you just have to mute the rest so that we don't hear the strings 5, 4, 3, and that way you can even let go of the bass note to play the E. Lots of dissonance, but it's really, really cool, and you can slide that to play the G. He's doing that a lot on E chords too, like you can even fret the E chord, but just play the small power chord like this, spread it out. It's really, really cool. And then I really love this part too, the one that goes like this. So what we're doing here is that we're leaving the D string open, the fourth, and we're playing the D shape, but we're sliding it up until the 7th fret. So that creates a G chord on a bass of D. And when we slide it 2 frets higher, it creates an A chord on a bass of D again. And then we're adding the pinky to create the sus4. Which is a really nice sound. He's gonna play the D shape a lot too. So you can actually try the D shape with the open D all the time. It works almost everywhere. Nice. Then in the song YYZ, it's more like riffs, right? Not really chords. But still, we have a few places where we have typical Lifeson chords, like this one. Right? So you're gonna play the bar chord on B major, but you're gonna remove your pinky, and that's gonna create a dominant 7 chord. And then we can slide it for a C dominant 7 and B dominant 7. And many, many times he's gonna add the pinky on the 3rd fret to replace the middle finger, and that's gonna create the sus4. And many times he's not gonna resolve it, so remember that chord. We're gonna use it again. And then after the solo in YYZ, after he does like, we have like a super nice chord progression. It's on synth, but I love it. It goes like this. So once again, it's the same principle that we're gonna leave an open string all the time. Instead of D, this is gonna be A this time. And then we're gonna play different triads, A minor, and then a triad on G major. And then we're gonna slide it up for D major on a bass of A, and F major on the bass of A. This is what we call a pedal point or a pedal tone. It's when you keep the same bass note under all triads. And that is a staple of progressive rock music. If you play prog, you gotta use pedal tones all over the place because that's the sound of prog. So I love this progression. The next one on the album is Limelight. So this one also has like typical Lifeson voicings. So later we have the chord that I talked about, which is the dominant 7, but with the sus4 like this, right? But this time we're gonna play just a little bit differently. I'm gonna bar not the entire chord. I'm gonna lift my index finger to bar only the frets, the strings 6, 5, and 4. And the rest is open. It doesn't work, that's not the chord, but that's the principle here. We want to bar only half of it, and then I'm going to add back my ring and my pinky, and that way I can play with the open second to play this part, right? So that could be quite a challenge. That's something that you can work on, like partial bars, like this. An alternative could be to wrap your thumb around, which could be very handy too, but I like doing it with the partial bar because when you come from here, it's just much easier to slide the same position. So after that, you have an E power chord with an added sharp 11. That's a Lydian sound. And then what I call the Alex Lifeson chord, this one. Like, he uses that all over the place on almost all albums, really. So we're gonna pass on really quickly on this chord, on that riff, right? I love this riff. Then the camera eye, we're gonna have some of the same principles right here. So what's happening here is that we have the same kind of sus2 with the bass on the bass, right? So it's a ta. So typically it should be B flat sus2, but it's B flat sus2 with the sus2 doubled on the bass, right? And then the big thick voicing of a C major by adding the fifth at the bottom, and then G and F. Right? Some of the same concepts come again and again. Those are voicings that he really likes. And then later in the song, we got something like this. Beautiful chord. So it's actually an inversion of a D flat chord. The full chord should be like this. We're just not playing the root at the bottom. And then we're going to replace it with the pinky to get the sus4 on the bass. Right? So it's like a D flat, a sus4, and the sus4 is on the bass. He does that all the time. And then one fret down, so that's going to be a C chord on a bass of E, and a C chord on a bass of F. So... So if you have one thing to keep in mind if you want to play like Alex Lifeson, do not fear putting the sus2s and the sus4s on the bass in your voicings. I've never seen any other guitar player doing that, and he does that all the time. The next song is Witch Hunt. I really like this chord progression that goes like this. So it seems typical, but it's a Dorian chord progression. If we are in G minor, we would be in G Dorian because the last chord right here, the fourth chord is a major chord, and that's really typical of the Dorian sound, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the fourth chord in our key, and we play it in major. It's the same principle when Pink Floyd do exactly that. Right? So it's like the root chord in minor and then the fourth chord in major, and that's exactly what they do here. And by not staying long on the root chord, it makes it really fresh as it repeats, because you can hear that all over and over again. We don't really resolve on the root at any moment during this progression. I hope that you really enjoyed nerding out on Rush chords in this lesson. If you want to learn more chords with me, I have a free course. It's the first link in the description box. I'm going to teach you how to play spread triads. So if you don't know how to play spread triads all over the fretboard, you can add that into your bag of tricks to have more variety when you play chords on the guitar. So once again, you can click on the first link in the description box and enroll totally for free. It's about 45 minutes of video lessons. You can download the chord charts, the exercises. It's my gift to you for watching my video until the end. And if you are new on the channel, subscribe with the notifications. I am doing a lot more videos like this, like top 10 chord styles. I already did like Pink Floyd a couple times, Genesis, Led Zeppelin, and a lot more are coming. So if you want to watch more, you can even click to watch another video in the same style. Thank you a lot for watching, and until next time, au revoir.